I'm going to call this meeting to order. Can you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice of this meeting was advertised in the Asbury Park Press on January 9th, 2026, and the Beacon on January 22nd, 2026. And by posting the notice in the Forked River and Lenoka Harbor post offices and by filing a copy of the notice with the Lacey Township Clerk as requested by the Open Public Meeting Act. Can I have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Opus.
Here.
Mr. Hurley.
Here.
Dr. Forney.
Here.
Mr. Amato. Mr. Bell.
Here.
Mr. Goen.
Here.
Ms. Klaus.
Here. Yep.
Okay. Be it resolved that an executive session be convened for the purpose of discussing confidential student matters, including but not limited to harassment, intimidation, and bullying, confidential personnel matters, and confidential legal matters, including but not limited to the current caseload. The subject of the matter of these discussions will be disclosed to the public when the reason for confidentiality subsides. The length of the executive session is estimated to be approximately 60 minutes, after which the board shall reconvene and proceed with the business at 7 p.m. Action may be taken. We need to adjourn.
Can we have a motion to go to executive session, please?
Motion. Second. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, everybody, we're going to start the meeting up. I'd just like to welcome everybody. It's nice and crowded in here. Before we get started, I'd like to share a few updates. On March 11th, we held our second coffee and conversation with Mr. Zielinski. While the attendance was small, 5 residents, it allowed us to have meaningful discussion with a variety of topics brought forward by our community members. We look forward to continuing the momentum at our next session, Wednesday, May 13th at 5 o'clock. Looking ahead, we have a tentative budget workshop scheduled for April 28th that will be open to the public. Please make sure to check the district website for any updates and changes to the schedule. We haven't assigned a time yet, but that'll be posted. Also, I'd like to remind everyone, our high school production of Grease will run March 26th to 28th. It'll be a great show, and I encourage everyone to come out and support the arts. Finally, I'd like to take a moment to recognize an exceptional achievement by one of our student athletes, junior. He's a junior. Killian Coluccio has earned the title of state champion in wrestling this past weekend. While our program consistently sends wrestlers to Atlantic City each year, this marks our first state champion in 29 years. The last was Russ Witt in 1997. Killian will be invited at the future board meeting so we can properly recognize his accomplishments, along with his coaching staff, who helped guide him to this level of success. It is also my understanding that Killian has received a full scholarship to Virginia Tech, where he will continue his wrestling career for Division I level at the Atlantic Coast Conference. That's amazing. He's a junior, so round of applause.
It's also worth noting that in the wrestling world,
Yes.
they don't share those. It doesn't matter the size of your school. He is the champion for the
best.
state of New
Yep.
Jersey. So
Yes.
one of only 14 in his weight class. So that's it. We're an overall state champion in this case, which is really kind of interesting.
Okay, and that's it. I'm going to give it to the students.
Hello, everybody. So I'm going to start off with the meeting notes for March. So SGA met on Monday, March 2nd for freshman news. Their talent show on March 5th was a great success. Thank you for everyone who came. Their Duncan fundraiser goes live tomorrow, March 20th, at both Lacey Duncan, so please support the freshman class. For sophomore news, they made their first prom payment. They're now planning their lawn sign fundraiser, and they made discussions about graduation shirts, bears, and flower sales. Now for junior news, they continue planning for prom. Their first food truck fundraiser was a success last Friday, and it was Chick-fil-A. And this Friday, tomorrow, will be Good Mood Food Truck from 1:40 to 3:45. It's bringing a lot of great morale to the school too. Really enjoying the food trucks. Then, for senior news, the seniors discussed their June plans, including the June 4th grade adventure field trip, the June 11th senior prom. The seniors had an additional meeting on March 11th for the planned promming. Then on June 12th, there would be casino pier field trip, and graduation date is still to be determined. Then they also discussed the senior shirt designs and partnering with Jetty to make them. Finally, for the executive board is planning on hosting a SoCA Senior fundraiser on May 20th from 2 to 3 in the W Hall courtyard. Signups for the seniors are due April 24th. This is going to be a really fun event. Students are going to be able to buy different size cups and buckets to pour on seniors' heads and stuff. It's going to be really fun. And then the executive board is also assisting the other classes with upcoming plans. The next SGA meeting will be taking place Monday, April 13th. This is also the election meeting for all the underclassmen. I'm going to now pass it on to Cooper.
Thank you. All right, and it is my honor to welcome down here our March Unsung Hero, Lily Allen. Yay! All right. So, the Matthew Blum Unsung Hero Award is awarded to a person who has exemplified unselfish acts within his or her community. For the month of March, SGA's selection for this award is someone who has made an everlasting impact on our school. She has pursued her academics with ambition and determination. Over the past 4 years, this person has been a 4-year member of the STEM Academy, showcasing her passion for knowledge and academic excellence. She's also been on the Lacey Varsity Gymnastics team for the past 4 years, helping the team become undefeated B-South champs this past fall. Outside of high school, she spends her time as a coach at Ignite Gymnastics here in Lacey, helping young gymnasts master their skills through motivation and merit. Further, she's a member of the National Honor Society here at LTHS, emphasizing her commitment for volunteering and helping others in the community. She is someone who is never seen without a smile on her face and always shines with positive energy in any room that she's in. For these reasons, SGA is proud to announce that our March Unsung Hero is Lily Allen. Congratulations.
Okay, thank you very much. Now we're going to move on to superintendent comments.
And I'm going to invite Principal King down
Okay.
for his presentation first. Thank you, Principal King. Yes. I told you, it's hit or miss, Jay. I'm sorry.
I know, it was a good month for me.
It's hit or miss.
I'll take it. All right, everyone. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our seniors of the month for March. Our first senior of the month is Amelia Mazer. Amelia, come on over. Woo! Her family's here. Round of applause for them as well.
I'm Amelia Mazer, and I'm proud to be named March's Senior of the Month at Lacey Township High School.
Congratulations, Amelia, on winning Senior of the Month.
I'm a member of the SGA and former officer, as well as a member of the STEM Academy. I've also participated in 3 sports here at Lacey: basketball, soccer, and lacrosse, and I've been captain of the lacrosse team the past 2 seasons.
I've been coaching Amelia since her sophomore year. She came into our lacrosse program as an incredible athlete with an incredibly high lacrosse IQ, was super compassionate towards all her teammates and always willing to help first. With Amelia, things that set her apart and which she's so deserving for this honor is her hard work, her constant work ethic. She's always looking to get better, to better those around her and pick the girls up that are around her.
At Lacey, I've really enjoyed being able to go on field trips with STEM and all the creative fun things we've been able to do, as well as participating in sports and going to games and stuff with my friends.
Amelia comes into season every year, ready to go, super excited, super hyped up for the whole season. Unfortunately, the last 2 seasons, she's had an early injury that has hindered her playing time and it's hindered her ability to do the things that she knows that she can do to perform out on the field.
Outside of school, I work as well as volunteering with the Elks Antler Club. I also hang out with my friends and play a lot of sports and continue to play lacrosse outside of school.
Regardless of any injury that she's ever had, she still finds ways to show up 100% for her team. She's been able to be kind of a mini coach for us in the past 2 seasons, which our success wouldn't have been what it was without her at all. She finds ways to connect with every girl on our team while also being able to be a strong leader.
After this year, I'm going to Ithaca College to continue to play lacrosse, as well as majoring in environmental science and legal studies to hopefully eventually become a green law or go into green law.
Amelia, I'm so proud of everything that you've gotten to accomplish here. I wish you the best of luck with the rest of this school year and can't wait to watch you play at Ithaca.
Congratulations, Amelia. Our next senior of the month for March is Russell Davies. Russell. His family's here as well. Round of applause.
I'm Russell Davies. I'm proud to be named March Senior of the Month.
Congratulations, Russell Davies, on being named Senior of the Month.
Here at the high school, I do baseball and I help out with Proud Paws.
I've had the privilege to both coach and teach Russell. He's a hardworking young man who's acquisitive in groups, who picks up his teammates and his classmates whenever they have trouble. He's a phenomenal candidate for Senior of the Month, and I can think of nobody better than who is more deserving of this honor.
Some of my favorite memories here at the high school the past couple of years is probably winning Battle of the Classes back-to-back years.
On the baseball field, Russell is a heck of a competitor. I've had the opportunity to watch him grow there the last 4 years. Baseball is a game of failure, of adversity, and Russell has risen to the occasion every time he's been challenged on the field. He and I have gone back and forth playing the game we both love, baseball. He has the ability to go ahead and pick his teammates up when they struggle, and he also has the ability to make us laugh and keep it light.
Outside of school, I like to hang out with friends, play baseball.
Russell on the baseball field is probably one of the key components to our success this year, and will continue to be a key component to our success in the future.
After high school, I plan to go to Vokes and do heavy machine operating.
Russell, I'm excited about your future. I'm excited about what you have in front of you here with the baseball season the rest of this year, and I'm excited to see you thrive, even in adversity and when you're being challenged. And best of luck, my friend, in all your future endeavors. I'm always rooting for you.
All right, congratulations, Russell. And finally, our March Vocational Senior of the Month is Danica Giardina. Danica, come on. Round of applause for her family who's here.
Hi, I am Danica Giardina, and I am proud to be March's Vocational Senior of the Month.
Congratulations, Danica Giardina. You're being named Vocational Senior of the Month.
So I do engineering technology at Vokes. It is basically a manufacturing class. We make tools, we fix tools. Overall, it's pretty easy. It's just we use a lot of different materials when it comes to aluminum, steel, brass, everything with a bunch of heavy machinery. I'll be there during school, but then I could also do after-school events and everything else.
Ever since you came to my engineering and design class your freshman year, you've always been determined, loyal, perseverant, and most of all, problem solving. You're the type of person that can take apart anything, understand how it works, and put it back together. You also know exactly what you want from everybody in your group and from the project itself. It's going to set you apart, clearly, from everybody else.
Outside of school, all I do is really hang out with my boyfriend and my friends and just do almost about anything.
And that perseverance has really shown this year in vocational school. Seeing the way you actually milled that pen, your CO2 racer, and the other projects that you do right now, especially that fidget spinner that's starting to happen, you're really a problem solver. One of those things that just showcases the work that you can actually do.
My future plans is after I finish my post-secondary year of Vokes and get my certificate for that, I will be going out of state into another trade school that I haven't figured out which one yet, but it will probably be for manufacturing engineering overall.
So congratulations once again, Danica, on being named Vocational Senior of the Month.
All right, Mr. Lindsay, I have one extra little announcement this evening. As Ms. Claus mentioned, we have our play next week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I encourage you all to get your tickets. I'd like to see all everyone here. Just hop online right now and purchase them for next week. As a preview of that, Mr. Olander cannot be here because he's been practicing and working with the cast and crew. We do have a small preview of their opening scene.
Action.
I saw my problems and I see the light. We got a loving thing, we gotta feel it right. There ain't no danger, we can go too far. We stop believing now that we can be who we are. Greece is the word. They think our love is just a growing pain. Why don't they understand it's just a crying shame? Their lips are lying, only real is real. We stop the fight right now. We gotta be what we feel. Greece is the word. It's got groove, it's got meaning. Greece is the time, it's the place, it's the motion. Greece is the way we are feeling. We take the pressure and we throw away. Conventionality belongs to yesterday. There is a chance that we can make it so far. We start believing now that we can be who we are. Greece is the word. It's got groove, it's got meaning. Greece is the time, it's the place, it's the motion. Greece is the way we are feeling. This is the life of illusion. Wrapped up in troubles. Placed in confusion, what are we doing here? They think our love is just a growing pain. Why don't they understand it's just a crying shame? Their lips are lying, only real is real. We start the fight right now. We gotta be what we feel. Greece is the word. It's got groove, it's got meaning. Greece is the time, it's the place, it's the motion. Greece is the way we are feeling.
And scene.
That's all for me.
Thank you, Principal King. I'll do my next one. Raise your hand if you saw Grease in the movie theater. Yeah, not that many left. Yeah, in the movie theater. Oh, I don't have my glasses. Thank you. Yeah, we'll do that, and then I'll go back to my seat. I'm going to do an update on the bond referendum. So, yeah, put it up. So this is a presentation and adoption of our tentative budget for 26-27. A couple slides. I just want to stress the fact that this is a tentative adoption. It is not a formal adoption. Formal adoption will be on May 5th, as currently scheduled. We have the public budget workshop with full board will be on April 28th. Okay, right now we'll do it in the media center, probably 5 o'clock. We'll make sure that that's out to everybody and make sure everybody knows where to go. If we have to relocate to here, we will. But right now we'll do media center April 28th. That'll be public session. If you attended one or two of our other public sessions, that's where the board operates in public and they have their full discussions and then there's public comment afterwards. Okay, so that's the current plan. So tonight, again, to stress, is an adoption of a tentative budget. We're going to talk about it, and you can digest it. I'll post this stuff online tomorrow, so you can go back to these slides. There's only a couple of slides in here, and we'll have more handouts and stuff like that for the 28th, which is that public workshop session prior to the May 5th formal adoption of a school budget. Okay, so here's tentative. It's kind of a little different order than we've done in past years. We have finally worked a solution where we're not cutting any instructional staff. Not cutting any teachers. First time in 9 years that's happened. Okay, where we haven't cut a single teacher. If a teacher retires, we're going to replace that teacher. Okay, if you spend any time in the elementary schools, you know how important that is. Okay, that's a real key piece of the puzzle to this year's tentative budget. No cuts to transportation. I know some in the room are thinking, we cut all the courtesy transportation. We did do that. Okay, but we'll have no further cuts there either. No instructional programs will be affected. Okay, if your children, if you have children in the district or in an instructional program, it will be unaffected. It will exist next year, moving into 26, 27. No, there's other cuts to co-curricular supplies, but we're not going to cut any of the activities. We know at the elementary level, the middle school level, those activities are sparse because of previous cuts, but we will not cut any deeper this year. So a significant year for the budget. It's the first time we put up a slide like this, and those who've been through some of the years with us, many of you, most of you have been through the years with us, I'll take that back, you know that you know, it's been a trying years, especially from the instructional side, the teaching side of things. Okay, what's not so good is new appropriations to the budget. And I'm assuming a lot of the people are here because they are following the news about the state health benefits plan, which we participate in, and the astronomical increases that are part of that plan. Those increases are passed on to a budget, okay, almost pound for pound, right? There's no grants, there's no money coming from the federal government, nothing like that when you talk about health benefits increases. So this was higher. We did a lot of work, a lot of forensic work, to make sure that that number is where it should be on the left side, but it still results in a 30% increase to medical and dental benefits, mostly at the hands of a broken state system. Okay, the state health benefits plan, I think about, and don't quote me on this, about 250 districts are forced into that plan. We are one of them, and it's supposed to be self-funded. Everybody pays the same rate. The problem is that it's insolvent. Okay, and those rates, that's real. Okay, and I checked with every other district in the local area to make sure I was right on what that increase was going to be. Okay, so that's a $4.1 million charge directly to the budget coming up in the next year. Natural gas and electric, we know our own bills. We know what that looks like. Okay, we're going to have an increase. We're projecting an increase of almost 39%. Okay, a little bit of that is going to be, we're going to take off the solar in 2 buildings this summer due to the referendum. We also have an RFP out there to establish a solar field behind Mill Pond. So that may moderate a little bit over time, but that takes a couple of years to kick in for that moderation, but we have to budget appropriately. So that's up almost $400,000. And then insurance, property, and casualty, you can look at your homeowner's insurance, you know what I'm talking about, or your car insurance. We've all seen those things go up. Ours is going up as well. Okay, so that's what you're seeing in this. What does that mean? That means we are still, I'll call it constitutionally, but it's more code-wise. But code-wise, as a social studies teacher, solid constitutionally, we are required to pass a balanced tentative budget with the money that you have available to you. The difference this year, the current difference this year, is that you had a tax incentive increase the past 2 years that allowed us to go above cap. Whether it was a health waiver bank cap or whether it was the normal 2% cap, that was available to Lacey. And if you followed the trials and tribulations of last year, we went all the way to June trying to come up with a solution for the rules that were in place last year. Those rules are not in place this year. We are hemmed in by only the 2% cap and what has become a health waiver cap for districts that participate in the state program. So that means we have to make reductions. Because if I go back a slide, you see how much got added to the budget. That far outpaces that money that we can pass on to the taxpayer. Far outpaces it. So there has to be reductions to the budget. These are sad in many cases and hard decisions that are on this slide. And emotional decisions. And I understand all of that and I get all of that. I am required to present a balanced budget. I do not have another way to do it at this time. Let me be clear on that. Okay, last year and year before, there were changes, tentative to final. Okay, if you have a senator, if you have a congressman, if you have anybody you know, now is the time to talk to them about what their completely horrible formula has done to Lacey. I have spoken directly to the state DOE, to Vin Gopal, to other members of the state committee, to the finance committee. Obviously, I haven't gotten anywhere yet. I'm doing best I can, but I'm only one person. Okay? So those are going to be the reductions. And when I say reductions, keep in mind, we do zero budget budgeting. I think I'm getting that a little bit wrong. So the managers that work for you said we need this much money, and I say we don't have that much money. That's what you see on this screen here. We simply don't have that much money. So reductions had to be made. That's what you see on this screen. Okay? So paraprofessionals, full-time health aides, administrative staff salaries, that's going to be a cut of 2 administrative positions. Out-of-district tuition, that's taking a chance. When you talk about it, because we have 1 student moving into the district, in the state of New Jersey, you're responsible for paying the full tuition if they're an out-of-district student before they get to us. Full tuition goes right to the taxpayer. They don't give us any break there. Technology reductions, transportation and fuel, we trimmed that. Okay, I had our manager at transportation, we had Nikki, do a deep dive on fuel costs. We know fuel costs went up. We're being very careful there. Co-curricular and athletic supplies are going to get cut. Maintenance supplies are going to get cut, and instructional supplies are going to get cut. I'll give you one, so all good credit. We're being really good on paper. I'm not buying as much paper. Okay, that's your instructional supply piece of that. That's one thing in there. All right. Here's the numbers. These are the numbers that the board will hopefully. I'm asking them to pass tonight. Okay, we talk about our operating budget from year to year, the grants and entitlements that are available to us, the debt service payment that we're required to make. Okay, we note that that's way down. We retired debt, and when I talk about the referendum monies, we got a good deal. So that number is going to stay pretty low, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, and then the total numbers there on tentative. Oops, did I get stuck, Tom? Oh, no. And here's the levy. All right, so here's the 26-27 levy. Okay, 26-27, I am going to read it. Operating budget property tax levy. It includes the 2% statutory tax levy and then a 5.1% health benefit waiver increase that's allowed by the state. They're allowing us no more increases than that. That's it. We're not allowed to go any higher. Okay, right now, as the rules stand. Okay, debt service is way down because of the retirement of our debt, the good deal we got on the referendum. Okay, and then the property tax levy, the total, and then the net percentage increase over 25-26 will be a 5.87. This is revenue side of things. This is where we get, am I saying this right, Connie? This is where we get our money from?
Correct.
Thank you. Okay, property taxes, state aid, extraordinary. I'm going to post this. Remember, I know I'm moving quickly. All the other aids that you have to a total. And it talks about where our revenues are. Debt service is one of the few that went down. That's a good thing. And then there's the increase. This is all tentative and projected. Okay, until the tax assessor tells us, until we have final numbers, until all that is done May 5th. This is all tentative today. This is not in stone by any means. So this is a prediction, but it is part of the presentation. Okay, so the average home came up in value. It went up from $288,906 to $296,888. Okay, real estate values in Lacey are increasing. You can look at anywhere in the newspaper, you see it. Okay, remember the formula is 3 things. Okay, it's going to be your population, it's going to be the value of your real estate, and it's going to be your income tax returns. Okay, we determined the other day, it's back to 23 the state has your returns. And they base it on the value of your community that way. That's this current formula. So that's what affects when we got that state aid, the categorical state aid, and these are the results of that. Okay, so the tax rate will change, the average home value changes, so school taxes are going to go up. For the average home, $24 a month. Next steps, all right, we submit this to the county, they have to approve it. Nothing's approved until they say so. They kick it back to us, then we still have all that time. It probably takes them a week or 2 to kick it back to us. So we're in preparation for our April 28th public session where we discuss everything budget, only budget, on the 28th. And then May 5th is our scheduled passage of a final budget. So those are next steps. Thank you, and I will post this. Okay? Last thing I'm going to give you, if I brought it with me. Yes, I did. Okay, so referendum. Again, thank you, Lacey Township. It is sorely needed. The money that was passed in that referendum, okay, and those new to the room, and I know none of you are really new to the room, 5 roofs will get replaced over the next 2 summers, and we will do associated HVAC work that's part of those questions at middle school, high school, and Lenoka Harbor School. Okay, Lenoka Harbor School is the one that the roof is not being replaced. It's still under warranty. This summer, we are slated to replace the roof, most of the roof here at the high school, and all of the roof at Cedar Creek. Those are the 2 that will get done this summer. We're going to relocate ESY, our extended school year, to Mill Pond to get that work done. You can't occupy the buildings while they're tearing the entire roof off. It doesn't work that way. So the middle school, and right now scheduled, will be there. So what's interesting? So the process of selling the bonds was very interesting to me. And so I had our bond sale. I had them write it up for us. Just to give you some interesting information about those bonds. So we held on February 25th, you actually hold a competitive offering for the full amount of the bonds authorized by the referendum. We had an excellent turnout. We had 7 bids. Apparently, the $28 million was a sweet spot for investors. So we had 7 offers to take on our bonds. The net interest ran from 3.58 to 3.796. So we got 3.58. It's excellent. Right? By everybody's standards, apparently, that is really good. We awarded to the lowest bidder. The lowest bidder was Roosevelt and Cross. A net interest cost of 3.581. The bonds are issued for a 20-year period. Rates are locked in on the day of sale. Okay? The timing and the competitive nature, our bond counsel says we saved $2.5 million right off the bat because we had good timing and everybody wanted the sale of our bonds. So we saved almost $2.5 million right there, which is great. Okay? Final debt service payments are going to be lower than what we originally predicted because of that good rate. That's going to be awesome. You see that actually on some of the slides. Okay? We actually, we were rated, we switched rating agencies to Moody's. We got an A rating from Moody's, which is very good. Okay? It shows good stewardship with the money. Okay? And then we closed and the projects are funded actually as of yesterday. Okay? So we're fully funded. We are ready to go with our projects. So that's why we're going to be full steam ahead for the summer. So that's a bond update. Referendum update. So that's it for tentative. Okay, I'm going to sit back down and we'll move on. Thank you.
Okay, before we start our public comment session, if anybody would like to head home, you're welcome to.
Young. And their parents.
Congratulations. This is like trying it.
I'm going to get it.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
I don't know how to turn that.
Yeah.
Try.
You good? All right, we're going to continue. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now opening the public comment portion of this meeting in accordance to New Jersey Open Public Meeting Act with music. This is an opportunity for members of the public to make comments to the board. Please note that this period is reserved for comments only. The board will not be responding to questions or engaging in dialogue. The board's role is that it's a policy-making body. Operational and administrative matters should be addressed through the appropriate chain of command, beginning with staff member or administrator directly involved. All speakers are expected to present their remarks in a respectful and civil manner. Rude or harassing will not be permitted. Please understand that defamatory remarks may create personal liability for the speaker and potential legal exposure for the board. In addition, to protect the privacy rights of students and employees, the board will not entertain discussions regarding specific student or personnel matters. We thank you for your cooperation in helping us maintain an orderly and respectful meeting. Any audience member wishing to make a comment, please raise his or her hand when called upon. State your name, address, or affiliation and intention to make a statement. Comments will be addressed to the board president. Comments will be limited to 6 minutes. No persons shall speak more than once. This portion of the meeting is for public comments only. There will be no questions answered. The purpose of this board meeting is to perform our business in public. Everyone is entitled to a public comment. If there is a question for the board, there's an established chain of command to follow. And I'm going to start with you. Go ahead. Yeah?
Hi, my name is Pat Doyle. Am I speaking loud enough?
You can speak a little louder if you can.
A little louder, thank you. I live on Beach Boulevard in Forked River, in a home that has been in my family since 1966. So I've been in town a long time, tried my best to follow the issues. Don't always come here to speak, but tonight I did feel compelled to offer a comment or two based on my own personal background and experience. Excuse me, I'm not speaking well tonight. I am recently retired from the New York City Appellate Division, where I was principal attorney for some years. That was
Can you please use the microphone better? Can't hear you back here.
Maybe pull it a little closer.
Can I pull it?
Pull it down.
Give me one.
Tom will come running in a minute.
Yeah,
try
hold
that
on one
for- to
second.
begin
Is
with.
this better? Better?
Okay, go ahead.
I recently retired from the New York Appellate Division, where I was principal appellate attorney for some years. That was a union environment. Prior to law school, I was a kindergarten teacher with a bachelor's and a master's degree in elementary education, focusing on early childhood. Based on my experience, I am pro-education and pro-teacher. I know firsthand, I'm kind of speaking to the audience at this point, forgive me, but I know how firsthand, even when I was in the classroom 100 years ago, how difficult that job really is, and how many hours a good teacher spends beyond the hours in the classroom, in addition to your own personal money. I don't know many teachers in the Lacey School District, but I have met a few. They have impressed me as dedicated, hardworking, very caring individuals. I also support a union environment. I'm sure I'll have comments on that in whatever the online blogs are tomorrow. I am not looking to take away anybody's benefits on a permanent basis. I am not looking to take away anyone's jobs, including paraprofessionals, on a permanent basis. I enjoy the same benefits that you do. I worked hard for those benefits, as you do. And now that I am retired, I see how important those benefits are. But there has to be balance. Against this background, I offer the following. First of all, I welcome the new board members, and I really appreciate and applaud the fact that you have a search committee for a new superintendent. I think you have listened to public comments, and you are taking our concerns very seriously. I applaud that. We need an individual who I've heard called here as a turnaround agent, someone who has achieved success in a similar school district with similar issues to ours. That person might come at a price, and even though we're talking about cutting, and how can we fix this budget, I believe that is an investment that we cannot afford not to make, and that we will see a return on that investment. When I hear that the only thing we can do is raise taxes, that discourages me and frightens me. We all have a part in this, and while taxes may inevitably go up somewhat, I do think there are many things we can do that can help offset that. One of those things I'm glad to, correct me if I'm wrong, you're considering finally outsourcing the cafeteria services. You're looking into that, is that true?
We're just exploring.
Excuse me?
Just exploring all options.
Okay, well, looking into it, exploring. I know this is something that I've heard Regina talk about for some time. And I have to admit, I thought to myself, why didn't we look at this earlier? But I'm glad we're finally doing it. And there are other ideas I've heard that I do believe need to be investigated further, such as pay-to-play sports, possibly paying for busing. Nobody wants these things to happen, but this is the real world we're in. This is the world we're facing. And as I said, we all have a role in this, the taxpayers, the board, and yes, even the teachers.
Just so you know, there's about 45 seconds left.
Oh, okay, just let me finish, please. I hardly ever come here, so this is the most important part that I want to talk about. I empathize with the teachers. I truly do. No one should teach a classroom of 35 students. That is untenable. That is it is so wrong, it is ridiculously wrong for you and the students. And I am an advocate of education. But we have to have balance. And that includes the paraprofessionals, because no teacher should be left alone with 35 students. That is not good for anyone. Because now I'm about to go from hero to zero, so just keep listening. Please let me finish. I have one paragraph left, and it's important.
You good, Bruce?
Yeah, because we.
Okay.
Last week, or the last meeting, I think it was the last meeting, I listened to the meetings even when I'm not here. I heard a very nice woman come up and compliment the teacher. She was a teacher who retired some years ago. And she talked about the 0% increase that apparently is you're being faced with in negotiations. And she said that it was unheard of. Well, that's not really true. It is heard of, and it was done in New York because it was done on my job. Check it for yourself. CSEA, Civil Service Employees Association, New York Unified Court System. The year after our 2008 financial crisis, we began negotiations of a new 4-year contract. The union sent us a letter that said, here you go. We have no choice. Here's the budget, and if you don't vote this, then we go to layoffs. We had 3 years of zeros, and the fourth and final year was a $500 bonus.
Pat, would you mind just wrapping up? We're just going to, yeah, because we're way over 6 minutes now. Thank you, I appreciate it.
I won't finish then. I mean, I think this is more important than following a rigid procedure of 6 minutes when you could. Okay. And this is the part. Okay. Anyway, as I said, that is, I'm wrapping up. That is temporary. It is not a permanent loss of anyone's job. And yes, it was really, really hard. But we got through it. And if you get through it, and you do cooperate and see yourself as part of the process, in the next cycle, when hopefully things are better, you will be rewarded.
Thank you.
So I please ask you to keep an open mind and consider that.
Thank you, Pat. Okay, just give her a minute. Thank you. We have rules.
Good evening, members of the board, students, parents, staff, and fellow employees. My name is Patricia Clark Brescia. I work in the high school. I'm a paraprofessional for over 20 years, 4 in this district, and I'm happy to be here tonight. I thank you for giving me your attention. And just quickly to let you know that some of us, as a paraprofessional, some of us don't have 3 years to wait. We need to have dinner tonight, just so you know. I thought I'd share that. I worked in Mill Pond for a while, and I love working with the little ones. And obviously, there's a lot of people here tonight, and there's some strong emotions here. So I thought I might speak to you from the Dr. Seuss book, The Lorax. I think we're all familiar with it. Well, you know, the protagonist is the Lorax, and he's trying to save the truffula trees. And trying to put my personal feelings aside and just share with you what I think, I thought that was the best way to do it. So in that spirit, I will proceed. I penned this before the meeting, and I hope to maintain my composure and hopefully affect a positive change and appeal to your humanity. So I humbly submit. I am a para, and I speak the truth. It's time I spoke up regarding our youth. I've sat here in silence as this budget was slashed, and seems that our kids come in second when balancing our cash. Now, I don't envy your task. It's a difficult one, but that's what you signed up for. No one said it would be fun. So as you try to offset and balance and cut, what becomes of education? I ask you, just what? The state has made mandates and tests are the measure, but we're sinking our ship while we bury the treasure. With bigger sized classrooms, spending less, wanting more, yet you expect that the children can continue to score. Special education is most difficult, this I do know, but we must provide the means for our children to grow. With reduction in staffing, as you slash and you hack, do you really believe that these kids can bounce back? Desperate for structure, they thrive on routine. Your cuts will soon hurt them. I don't say this to be mean. In your effort to keep certain citizens pleased, you've tied teachers' hands and cut them off at the knees. Can you promise us all that this district won't crumble? Learn a lesson from Lakewood, and I say this most humble. Let's learn from the Lorax and hear his sad plea, because this meeting and this quorum, it's not about you or about me. Our kids are our future. Pay attention, I heed. End the cuts now, let us no longer bleed. And I quote Dr. Seuss, unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing's going to get better. It's not. Thank you. Thank you.
Good afternoon. So I'm just going to clear something up before I talk. I'm from England. Just so you're not like, is she Australian? England. Liverpool, England. Okay?
Can you just state your name?
Not the rich part, the poor part. Okay? All right. So, good evening. My name is Sally Di Paola, and I've been a teacher in the district for 16 years, and I guess you can't guess what I teach. All right? It's French. All right. Yeah, with an Italian last name. Thank you. Okay. Can I ask the people actually behind me to here today to raise their hands if they work in this district? Thank you. Can you please keep your hands up if you have a second or third job? Thank you so much. We aren't the billionaire class. We aren't the 1%, we're the 99% like you. All right? We're not responsible for inflation. We're not responsible for state aid cuts. We're not responsible for rising costs. And we're not responsible for what the state does with the health benefits. But we are being singled out as a problem by people who have never taught in the public school setting. Give me 1 second. I've just got bifocals recently. Okay, seriously though. All right? And they refuse actually to emphasize with the fact that we are feeling the cuts too. We're feeling rising costs. Our bills go up as well. Our grocery bills are higher too. Our taxes are higher too. Okay? Basically, what's happening is we're all being pitted against each other for scraps. And what we're doing is we're sidelining and we're demeaning each other through language. I'm a language teacher. That's what we're doing. We're no longer, by the way, our titles, teachers, secretaries, bus drivers, custodians, safety officers, greeters, counsellors, cafeteria workers, groundspeople, paraprofessionals, duty aides, etc. Collectively, everyone who works in this district is a mental health professional. We make sure that, thank you. We make sure the students have a winter coat if they need it. We track their attendance to see anomalies. We monitor for bullying and track potential seizures or medical issues. We are their therapists, their mentors, and you know what? Sometimes we're just somebody they need to talk to. We are all now everything. We provide hot meals for families. We provide food for the food bank. We provide safe school-wide community activities and provide for families during holidays. Do you know we even have a community closet with clothes and a washer and dryer? Mm-hmm. We provide clean clothes and prom dresses and homecoming dresses, and do you know we've even provided diapers for siblings? But the most weighty duty of all that every one of us have that work in this district, can you put your hands up again, please? Can you put your hands up if you work in the district, please? The most weighty duty we have is we're on suicide watch. Right. We have lost students and we can't get over it. 40 years ago, they were teachers. 40 years ago, they planned their lessons and went to work and went home. We're now the new educators. Our job is completely different than 40 years ago, and we are worth more than 0%. Because honestly, 0% means zero consideration. And together with our students and their families, we are the very foundation of this district. Thank you.
Usually I don't do this part. I stand behind the people that do this part. Hello, my name is Allie York, and I have been a proud member of Lacey Township School District for the past 19 years. I am a teacher of chemistry, advisor of student government, solver of problems, helper of others, and just like every other staff member here, overall a positive contributor to my school community. As a member of Lacey Township High School, I was honored to have won Teacher of the Year in 2023. I have been a part of the district since 2000 when I transferred here during my sophomore year of high school. LTHS was my third high school I attended and the first place that truly felt like home. And after graduating from the College of New Jersey in 2007, there was no question as to where I wanted to teach. Within the classroom, I am currently teaching the Principles of Chem class, STEM chemistry honors, and advanced placement chemistry courses. Chemistry is a mixture of math and science that requires students to constantly retain information while incorporating new layers of knowledge. Through a variety of activities, including peer reviews, lab coursework, project-based learning, I encourage my students to push beyond what they thought they are capable of. This level of education takes a lot of time, a lot of expertise, a lot of resources. During the most recent past, I have been expected to maintain the same high level of excellence in my teaching with less consumable science supplies due to reduced budgets, less help or no help from unavailable co-teachers because of staff cuts, maxed out classes, as well as outdated resources. Although the current state of our system has been challenging, I and my colleagues do our best to ensure safe environments that support our students while still enabling them to exceed. We have been excelling in our jobs with so much less. My passion for academic success and extracurricular involvement is all a part of my fervent desire to see the students of LTHS shine each day, and is something that I am very proud of. I put my heart and soul into doing everything I can do to improve my students' experiences at LTHS. and devote much of my time towards being a teacher and advisor that my students can count on. I hope that my students see the investment that I make in them so that they become inspired to do the same within their school community, as well as in their future as graduates. Although this is my experience, this is not unique to Lacey. We all give our profession our all, and we all expect our district to do the same. Without us, the staff of Lacey Township School District, there would be no community. We are the glue, we are the beating heart that makes this place special. But just as Sally DiPaolo said before me, 0% is zero consideration for the time and dedication that we bring to our profession each day. We are worth more than zero. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jen Bentley, and I live in Forked River. I'm a third grade teacher at Lenoka Harbor School and the vice president of the LTA. My name is Jen Bentley, and I'm usually at this podium to share good things that are happening in our district with you, but tonight I'm actually not. Please know that there are still so many good things happening in all of our schools with all of our students and staff, but on this, our 117th day of school, I am disheartened knowing that I am worth 0%. For the past 117 days, I have been working under an expired contract. I have been a teacher in Lacey for 32 years, and I have had the pleasure of working with some outstanding individuals, leaders, and members of the Board of Education. In the past, the Board of Education has made negotiating and settle a contract a priority. This, however, does not seem to be the case with this current board. This is the second time in 5 years that I have been working without a contract, and it is absolutely unacceptable and disheartening. Are you aware that Lacey Township is the only district in Ocean County to not have a contract? Think about that. Surrounding districts that were in more dire financial situations than Lacey were still able to provide for their staff with raises and contracts. That's right, districts like Jackson, Toms River, and Brick all settled their contracts quickly while providing their staff with a raise. What did their boards of education do differently? They prioritized their staff, and that is something that has not happened here in Lacey. I am not a priority. I am worth more than zero. So when will I be a priority? As a taxpayer and resident of Lacey, I'm also paying higher taxes, paying more for gas and groceries, have higher utility bills, health insurance costs have increased, and I'm also paying college tuition. My day-to-day expenses have increased just like everyone else's. It is frustrating to know that day in and day out, I continue to do the best I can in an overcrowded classroom with less funding and resources, and I'm not being compensated. How is that fair? It is overly frustrating that when looking through board minutes, there is money available and it is being spent month in and month out. We continue to hire staff, replace positions, and still spend money. I spent my professional day looking at new ELA curriculums. How and when will we be able to afford this? What about the storage areas filled with unused textbooks that are over-ordered or the materials that are ordered yearly that we don't even get to use? We're also conducting another superintendent search. This search was just completed less than a year ago and was costly. Why can't we form a committee to do this search and save the district money? We also continue to pay and spend monthly on an energy specialist. What savings are we truly saving with this service? At the February Board of Education meeting, our superintendent received a raise. Additionally, some staff members in other departments have also received raises this year. I mention all this because we have been told time and time again that our budget is frozen, yet we continue to spend money and plan on spending more money. I ask you again, how is it fair to provide some employees a raise and others 0%? I hope you, our Board of Education, can realize that you cannot run a district without your staff. Teachers, paraprofessionals, bus drivers, secretaries, counselors, nurses, custodians, maintenance, grounds, speech pathologists. We are worth more than zero. I am worth more than zero. The priority of our Lacey Board of Education needs to shift taking care of their employees first. Thank you.
Hi, Ashley Meyer-Weehawken. I'm here to talk about the ongoing issues with the special education department. 3.5 months ago on December 4th, I let the special ed department attorney and superintendent know that there were no records to show my disabled son was given a certain service he was owed in his IEP, and other services he was supposed to get were shorted by about 80 sessions. I didn't get a response, so I kept escalating. On December 6th, I emailed the board and nothing, so I kept sending emails to different people. I emailed 5 times in January, then I emailed 7 times the following month. I even came to last month's board meeting for help and spoke publicly. There was an enormous amount of effort to get things to move on my part. So here is where we are at. This Tuesday, the State Department of Education ordered Lacey to compensate my son for sessions he was owed. In addition, Lacey is required to review their policies with certain special education laws, which include oversight and tracking to ensure long-term compliance. And Lacey is required to provide training to staff and prove that that issued this training. The report said that the state plans to randomly select student files and service logs to check compliance to IEPs in the future. The state had to step in to what I was asking the Board of Ed for help for over 3 months. Why did it come to this? This is a failure of oversight. The board was aware of this going on and specifically what was going on. And I know we have 4 new members on this board, but at this point it's mid-March. You were all getting my emails since New Year, so I don't see any excuse for this to be continuing. I haven't seen a single agenda item or any motion on any meeting for anything regarding special ed department, even though someone literally campaigned on special education. I don't see anything related to special education talked about in last month's committee involving special education. Secondly, my son was also shorted about 80 sessions of another service he was owed in his IEP. Probably staff shortages, I don't know. Since no one responded to my emails on that either, including the board, I filed with Education Court. Since speaking here last month, only one of those services has started. I see there is an agenda item tonight to approve to pay for my son to get speech therapy he was owed and didn't get. The company was one that I found myself after being told by Lacey they couldn't find anyone. This company was the first place I called. It took me literally 2 minutes to find them. It's on your agenda now after over 3 months of bringing this to your attention repeatedly, filing an education court and making my own calls to even find them. No one sees a problem with this. What parent has time to jump through these hoops you are making me jump through? I don't understand how this is acceptable. This is my 3rd time in 7 months I've been to education court over Lacey not giving services to a disabled student. In August, I got an emergency court order because he wasn't getting services. In September, Lacey agreed to do another 40-plus hours owed during the proceedings. And now this month, Lacey is agreeing to do another 80-plus hours. And the state just ordered you Tuesday to give more services on something completely different. I see you gave our superintendent a raise last month. This is a job well done to you? Ms. Claus, you told me the board's role does not allow us to intervene in setting goals or determining individual services for students. But that goes directly against the board code that you are required to act when you get complaints that there is administrative failure and your role in adhering to laws and keep schools running well. Ms. Claus, you keep telling me there's a chain of command and the board won't step in, but you are part of the chain of command that is currently failing. I cannot imagine anyone on this board who accept this treatment for their own children.
Good evening. My name is Kristen Duff. I'm a special education teacher at Lanoka Harbor School. I also stand before you as a Lacey Township graduate and daughter of former Lacey Township High School teacher Stan Sislak. He was also the president of the LTEA. My earliest memories of the district started as a kindergarten student at Lanoka Harbor School in 1985. So many things have changed in the past 40 years. Technology had yet to infiltrate our classrooms and students. The academic demands on teachers were far less than they are today. Administration has changed multiple times. The relationship between the staff and the Board of Education has dramatically changed as well. 30 years ago, you would find the members of the Board of Education at my family parties, especially at the holidays. Some of the board members were my dad's closest friends, despite the fact he was the LTEA president. That was a time and culture in which the Board of Ed, administration, and staff all believed in working together for the betterment of our students and district. There is a beautiful mutual understanding and respect amongst all involved parties. Were there disgruntled residents that spoke out against the board, the staff, and budget concerns? Certainly, but those people were few and far in between, nothing like they are today. I am saddened and frustrated by the changes that have come to light over the past 21 years since my father passed away. I constantly remind myself how disappointed he would be in the circumstances we are dealing with and the lack of respect we receive. No one goes into the field of education with the intentions of striking it rich with pay. 2 years ago, I encouraged my 20-year-old daughter to reassess her desire to pursue a degree in education. I told her she would have to go into teaching for the love of the job because she would never make enough money to survive independently in today's world. Ultimately, she decided to pursue a degree in medical sonography, and she will surpass my salary by the time she's 25 years old. That is the reality that teachers face. From grounds to service providers, cafeteria workers to paraprofessionals, we are all here day in and day out for the love of the children. Can everyone here say the same? I have no regrets about following my dreams and becoming a teacher at 36 years old. I love that the road led me home to my Lacey family, where many of my colleagues are also alumni. There is something special about walking into my classroom each morning and remembering that I was once a third grader sitting in that same room in 1987. I have my former kindergarten teacher's great-granddaughter in my program this year, and that feels magical. The one constant that's remained over the past 40 years is that the teachers remain the heart of every classroom. My colleagues and I work tirelessly to create lasting memories for our students. We put so much thought and care into projects, class parties, and teaching meaningful lessons along the way. I am so proud to be a graduate of Lacey Township. I am even more proud of how we continue to rise to the occasion as educators and staff and meet the demands regardless of how unobtainable that may seem. We are our students' biggest cheerleaders. We remind them every day that anything is possible. We make sure they know they are loved, they are supported, and that they feel worth it. Our self-worth, the staff of Lacey Township School District, will not be measured by what you think our pay should be. A 0% raise is unrealistic and insulting. The cost of living continues to rise each year. Since I had cancer in 2023, I am now a type 1 diabetic. My monthly pump and supplies alone are $160, and that is without my medications that keep me alive and going. The same medications and treatments that allow me to show up to work every day. My monthly prescriptions have gone up $113 since my surgery in 2023, and that number will continue to rise for the rest of my life. My story is just one of hundreds within our district. I know this to be true. But how can I continue to afford the medication and pump supplies I need to stay healthy without a fair pay increase? We must get back to a culture where we all work together as one, which starts with the Board of Education members. You would not be the educated people that you are today without the love of a teacher. As I tell my students, it is never too late to do the right thing. We are counting on you, the Board of Ed, to lead by example and to make the change. Let today be the day that we rewrite the narrative. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Michael Ryan, President of the LTA. Good evening, members of the Board of Education. I'm here yet again to urge you not to balance the budget on the backs of our staff cuts or any plans to cut health aides or paraprofessionals or reduce the medical benefits that help sustain them. These professionals are not optional support staff. They are essential. Health aides are often the first line to take care of our students with medical needs. They manage medications, respond to emergencies, and ensure that students with chronic conditions can safely attend school each day. Without them, we are not just reducing services, we are putting student health and safety at risk. Our paraprofessionals play an equally critical role, especially to our most vulnerable students. They work closely with students who have significant needs, academically, emotionally, and behaviorally. Over time, they build strong, trusting relationship with these students. For many children, especially those struggling with behavioral challenges, that relationship is key stability and to their success. A familiar paraprofessional can de-escalate situations, provide consistency, and help students stay engaged in learning where they might otherwise shut down or act out. These relationships cannot be replaced overnight. They are built through patience, trust, and daily commitment. When we cut paraprofessional positions or make those jobs less sustainable by reducing medical benefits, we risk losing the very people who understand these students best. High turnover breaks those bonds, and students who rely on them suffer the most. Reducing medical benefits is not a small change. It sends a message that these essential workers are undervalued. Many paraprofessionals and health aides already work for modest pay because they care deeply about our students. Taking away or reducing their health care makes it harder for them to stay in these roles and harder for schools to attract and retain qualified, compassionate staff. Cutting these positions or their benefits may seem like a financial decision, but it carries long-term costs. When students do not receive proper support, academic performance declines, behavioral challenges increase, and the overall learning environment suffers. Teachers are stretched thinner, classrooms become more difficult to manage, and the entire school community feels the impact. We must ask ourselves, what kind of schools do we want? Schools where our most vulnerable students lose the support and relationships they depend on, or schools where every child is given the stability, care, and opportunity to succeed? I urge you to prioritize students over short-term savings. Protect our health aides, protect our paraprofessionals, and protect the medical benefits that allow them to continue doing this vital work. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to have a public comment? Oh, go ahead, Brianna.
Rhiannon Mendis, Woodland Road. I just wanted to bring to everybody's attention, besides the obvious need for our state funding formula to be addressed, Alex Sawicki, who is the Assemblyman in District 12, wrote an article yesterday. He has introduced Bill A750, which would appropriate $50 million to be distributed to qualifying school districts that have been forced to raise property taxes by more than 9.9% combined over the past 2 years. This threshold reflects the extraordinary fiscal pressure that many communities are facing as they struggle to maintain essential educational services. Across New Jersey, municipalities and school districts have experienced record property tax hikes, with some communities seeing increases back-to-back over the years. Families across New Jersey are being squeezed from every direction, Sawicki said, and over the past several years, that the state's school funding formula has forced districts to raise property taxes to keep their schools operating. Now these same districts are being hit with the health insurance cost increase of up to 35%, and the local taxpayers can simply not absorb another round. Sawicki said the bill recognizes the burden that's placed on these districts and the property taxpayers is no longer sustainable, and that the state should step in to provide relief. For years, Trenton's policies have shifted the responsibility away from the state and onto the local communities, and when districts are forced to raise taxes dramatically just to keep the lights on and face these enormous increases in health insurance costs, the state simply can't look the other way. It is time for them to step in and offer support. He does point out that the cost of this bill is modest when compared to recent state aid increases elsewhere. The total cost of this legislation is less than the $60 million in additional state aid provided to Newark City School District, following 3 previous years in which Newark received roughly $100 million more annually. These increases were funded by the same New Jersey parents whose own local school districts are now once again struggling to close budget gaps and policy decisions. The cost of the employee state benefits is one of the fastest growing expenses in these district budgets. So Sawicki has emphasized that the relief is aimed not only at the school districts, but also the families who ultimately pay this bill. Parents and homeowners have already been pushed to the limit. Property taxpayers should not be expected to absorb another wave of these massive increases. He added that while the bill provides immediate support, it also highlights the urgent need for broader reform in New Jersey's school funding and health benefits system to prevent similar crises in the future. He said New Jersey taxpayers deserve a system that's fair, predictable, and sustainable, And until we fix the underlying problems, we have to at least ensure that these communities already pushed to the brink receive the support that they need. And this is happening, like I've always said, across Ocean County, and I really hope it's time that Ocean County unites with the other districts that it's happening, because in our solitude, we don't have as big of a voice as if we could combine with Alex Sawicki's District 12 and Paul Kinitra in his district, and what's happening, it's all over Ocean County. So I would hope that with what we're dealing with right now, we can come together as a county. I don't know how that's possible, but I'm hoping.
That's the challenge.
But his bill, it hasn't hit committee yet, but it is fully introduced, so it's A4750.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to have a public comment? Go ahead.
Just while you're coming down to, just as a social studies teacher, the best thing you can do actually is write a new governor a letter. It's the best thing you can do. Coming together or not, you write her a letter. That's the best thing you can do. Not as a union, as a taxpayer. Write her a letter. She's brand new.
Hi, good evening. My name is Jennifer Komasinski, and I come before you tonight not only as an employee of this district, but as a proud graduate and alumni of Lacey Township High School, a longtime taxpayer of this very town, and most importantly, a parent of a child who is in this school right now. This district has been my home for decades. I've invested my time, my career, and my heart here. It's deeply troubling to stand here and witness the mismanagement and misappropriation of the very funds meant to support the foundation of our schools, which is our teachers and our students. Our educators are working without fair contracts, without raises, and without the recognition they deserve. These are the same teachers who inspired me when I was a student at this very school, who now inspire my own child, and who give their all every day, every single one of them, despite being undervalued by the very institution they serve. When the community's tax dollars are not reaching the classrooms, when the teachers are left fighting for basic fairness, and when the people entrusted with stewardship of our schools fail to prioritize our children's education, something has gone terribly wrong. This is not only a betrayal of our students, of our teachers, but of every family who trusts that our taxes are building a better future for our kids. I urge you to do your job, honor the commitment to transparency, fund the classrooms, not the politics. Give our teachers their contracts and the raises that they've earned. Show this community, your students, and your staff that our district is run with integrity. I love this district. I believe in the schools. But our children, our teachers, they deserve better. Tonight I ask you to choose what is right over what is easy, and to start rebuilding the trust that has been lost. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Debbie Chinique, Forked River. I'm not good at public speaking, so I might get a little tongue-tied. I hope you can hear me. I'm a paraprofessional in this district, and I used to be proud to work here. I felt like a superhero when I'd put this badge on in the morning. I love coming in. My kids are Lacey alumni, and my job is to help students, advocate for them, help them succeed, and now I feel like I'm fighting to keep my job. I came here because I wanted to talk to you guys about this contract and the 0%, because you know that none of us are worth 0%. That's ridiculous. Every year, 3 years, for whatever it's going to be, you fall further and further behind. No one's getting ahead. And it feels really hard to be seen by leadership that I'm not seen by them, that they can find raises for people, and then you say you can't find them for the people who are closest to the students. I am the only source of healthcare for my family. And today, just today, a few hours before this meeting, I was told my position is being eliminated because someone decided that the cost of healthcare coverage is worth more than I'm worth. And it's difficult to ignore the timing. We're here to stand together so we can do the most good. And everyone says that paras are the backbone of the school. We're the ones that know students by name. We catch the kids that fall through the cracks. We've seen firsthand the cost of when a child feels invisible. We're there every day for the children who need our support the most. So I just want to ask the board to understand what's at stake, because the true cost of this decision will not show up in any budget, won't be a line item. It'll show up in the hallways, it'll show up in the classrooms, and it'll show up in the lost potential of students who deserve better. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? No? Regina, go ahead. Oh, let's do Regina first, and then you can go next. Thank you.
Regina DeSenza, Sunset Drive, Sunrise Beach. I did email the board, but I have a transparency issue, and I don't expect the new board members to have noticed, but Kim, Dan, and Sal should have. Ms. Stewart is now publishing a check register instead of a bills and claims report with the monthly agendas, and that is a major change, and it's unacceptable and non-transparent. Why? My initial guess is no board member keeps track of the bills, but I do. What is missing from the check register? The electronic payments. The district and board is not publishing all the money it pays out every month. I do see Ms. Stewart has published a salaries attachment, but still, what's missing? The monthly payment for the health care. The January payment was $1,195,906 on a bills and claims report. One of the biggest bills of the district, and the bond payments are also electronic and missing from the February agenda. $19,454,000 is appropriated on the budget for benefits, and I can't see the monthly payments on the February or this March agenda. Am I missing something? I did find Delta Dental. Annual allocation is $600,000, and the February monthly showed us $46,900. The Benecard prescription plan is $4.4 million annually, and the February monthly payment was $334,000. But since those are paid by check, they show up. The public is entitled to know where all of the money goes, not just some of it. Please consider putting a bills and claims report back on the agenda.
Thank you. You can go. Yep.
Hello, my name is Michelle Sobel, and I've only been with this district since last spring. So I'm actually here winging this because I had no plans on talking. But the teachers, the paras, and this doesn't include me because I already don't get benefits, okay? To take them away from people who are in need of them and give raise to administrators is beyond belief. The other thing I find beyond belief is, and this doesn't go to all of you sitting there, somebody who sits on their phone, texting. Well, people were up here speaking. That's just disrespectful. Person knows who they are. But it's just, I can't believe, when my daughter was in school many years ago, I realized if you keep a good teacher, you get a good student. But if you're going to cut everybody, make them feel worthless, you know what? They're going to go elsewhere. That even happened when I was in high school. I had a great teacher. Made more money going to the Golden Nugget as an accountant. So why would he stay teaching even though he loved it and he was phenomenal at it? That's what you're doing to these people here. The good ones, they're just going to want to leave. And the Paras, believe me, as you know, none of them are making that much money to be cut anymore. Thank you.
Go ahead, Richard.
Good evening, Lacey citizens and members of the board. My name is Richard Bidnick,
Can we have quiet, please?
Chair of the Lacey Citizens for Responsible Government. It appears that the district will get a 6% increase concerning state aid instead of a cut, far short of the predicted budget deficit now to the tune of $4.6 million. But there's a little history lesson here. This budget deficit happened because of the board's unwillingness to plan 8 years ago when S2 was passed. That has put the school district in fiscal peril. Employment contracts were negotiated that the board knew they could not afford, but they did it anyway. The very symbol of fiscal incompetence. Instead of making the very tough decisions 8 years ago, we have seen a continued decline in services the district offers and budgets balloon. Back in 2018, reform should have been made, and if we had an administration and board that understood their fiduciary responsibilities, things would have turned out quite differently. But they didn't. So now we hear the teachers very unhappy that they're not getting any raises. Almost the entire budget goes to salaries, health benefits, and pension costs. The union is equally to blame as the board. There have been no givebacks from the union during this period of fiscal constraint. The entire burden has been laid on the taxpayers. I like to remind everyone that 70% of the households in Lacey have no children in our schools. An immediate remedy
Can you guys
to this.
please be quiet so Richard can finish?
An immediate remedy to this fiscal crisis, besides all the things that we've talked about before, is the health insurance. You know, I don't have any problem with the teachers being covered by the health insurance, but quite frankly, the family plan now costs $54,000 a year. Most of my friends who work in the business world do not have nearly the type of coverage you all have, and most pay over 50% of the premium, and their families are not covered. The taxpayers of Lacey are not responsible for the high cost of health insurance with the state health benefits program. The family program costs, as I said, $54,000. Do you realize that there are many individuals in this town whose income is way less than what it costs to insure the family here in the district? 20% of the households are receiving food assistance. And when I hear that you're upset that you're not getting a cost of living increase, it shows how many of you are out of touch with reality.
What?
Many of you still get your longevity increases, your step increases, as your current contract remains in force until a new one is negotiated. I know this because I was the CEO of a nonprofit corporation which happened to be unionized. I know exactly how it works. Since the taxpayers of Lacey have endured a 20% tax increase for your benefit over the last 2 years, it's now time to share the sacrifice. Honestly, sitting here as a member of the public and listening to members of the teachers union go through the same thing, I've heard this so many times over the 14 years. The district is broke. You're not helping matters. In fact, you're making it worse with your demands. There are a lot of things in life many of us would like, but it's not reality. To me, you're out of touch with the situation at hand and making life more difficult for everyone. I lost 2 of my neighbors last year because they could not endure the 2 new 10% tax increases. They didn't even live here very long, and they were forced out. One was a fellow teacher, but she didn't teach here. She drove up to Asbury Park every day because she wanted a higher salary. You can only draw so much blood from a stone, and honestly, the union needs to get its priorities straight. It's not only about you and not always getting your way, especially in fiscal matters which are beyond your control. Raising the taxes beyond the 2% legally allowed amount is just not acceptable at this point. Mr. Padula, last month, when you were asked by Mr. Armato why some people were being allowed to use the school logo for things, and only one person, me, was sent a threatening cease and desist letter, the board attorney said, quote, "People reached out to the board because use of the logo gave the impression that the debate or the public forum was posted by the board. Nowhere, and I mean nowhere, was this district named as a sponsor of this event. First, I've reviewed board emails that were obtained through Oprah, and I cannot see one single email from a member of the public stating they were confused by anything. Second, that logo is available for public download on the Lacey website. It specifically says, quote, "now available for use," and gives you 24 different versions anyone can download. And third, many board members, of education members, use the school logos when they campaigned with no issue, including our board president herself. I don't appreciate the letter, and I don't appreciate what appears to be misinformation being given out that the board was receiving concerns from the public, because I see no evidence of even one email to the board about it. I'm also extremely annoyed that the board president spent over $1,000 on sending me the legal letter without asking the board for permission to do such. You all have my personal email address. If anyone had a concern, you could have emailed me and just said, "Richard, can you take it down?" for free. On March 9th, on NewJersey.com, they wrote a news article in which Kim Kloss said, quote, "We're currently projecting a deficit of over $5 million. Why then would you spend money on such wasteful things as sending me a cease and desist letter? Hard to take you people seriously when one sees such actions such as this. Thank you very much."
Would anybody else like to have a public comment before we move on? No? Okay, I'm going to close public comment. We're now going to move on to board committee reports. And let's start with Mr. Hurley in policy, please.
You too, guys. Thank you.
The fun is now. See you later, hon.
Good night, guys.
Did a good job.
Did I see you? Okay, Mr. Hurley, why don't you start? Go ahead.
Nobody wanted to hear my committee report.
Nobody wants to hear about policy. All right, yay.
All right, I appreciate it. All right, so for policy, we met at 2 o'clock on March 17th at the Board of Ed building. It was myself, President Claus, Carrie Opitz, and Mr. Zielinski. We shared the policy, the regulation is being updated, the Strauss-Esme recommendation, which also brings into alignment with the copy purchase requirement as outlined by New Jersey statute that is in regards to our public relations policy, or public records policy. Under resource materials, Mr. Zielinski highlighted the changes to the policy a regulation that regulates resource material in the schools. This policy is specifically being updated to remove any reference to library materials as per the recently passed Freedom to Read Act. Library material and their acquisition will be part of a new policy known as library material. It's pretty self-explanatory. Under library material, Mr. Zielinski discussed the passage of the policy and regulation as required under the recently enacted Freedom to Read Act. Specifically, this new policy regulates the acquisition and removal of library materials and the procedures that will be followed if someone who has a vested interest in the schools has a complaint about any materials that appear in library collections. Let's see. Under co-curricular, he provided the committee with an update on the co-curricular events happening across the district. The committee is working on the schedule for the next mediation session for contract negotiations. And our next meeting is scheduled for, under other. The budget calendar, he shared an update with the budget calendar with the board committee. The calendar has been adjusted again due to snow. The last day for students will be on June 24th, with middle school promotion on the 22nd and high school graduation on the 23rd. The child study team calendar has been adjusted due to snow as well. High school graduation has been moved to June 23rd. We just went over that. And legal notices, there is a new procedure for legal notices. All legal notices will now appear on our website and will be posted in the local paper. And as far as the superintendent search, the posting is up and closes in mid-April. Our next meeting is April 15th. Thank you for staying for my report.
Yay. All right, next we're going to move on to Mr. Bell for the curriculum, please.
If you want to leave before I start, go ahead. Our meeting was at 4 p.m. And adjourned at 5:30. It was myself, Sal Armato, and Dr. Forney, Mr. Zielinski, and Michelle Amos, Mallory Krakowski, Ms. Kay. Okay, all right, there we go. Did I do good? All right, that's all right. Hey, I'll just call her Ms. Kay from now on. And Margaret Malloy. Curriculum, meeting with private school, preschool providers. Only one preschool showed from Bayville, a potential partner. Ms. Kay talked about the meeting with the private preschool providers that took place in regards to potential partnership in the 27-28 school year. Preschool parent information session, March 19th, 5 p.m. at the high school lecture hall. Parent information session, spread the word. Ms. Kay highlighted the upcoming parent information session for preschool that will take place in the high school lecture hall on March 19th at 5 p.m. for all new prospective preschool students. Preschool pre-registration, Monday, March 23rd, online. It's 4 pages, you sure you don't want to go? No. MPS Annex will be available for families that require assistance or access to internet devices. Spread the word. The annual preschool pre-registration will open on March 23rd, promptly at 10 a.m. Please visit our website for details, and anyone needing assistance can come to the Mill Pond Annex on that date. The registration usually fills within 5 minutes, so please be prepared if you want to register. March 10th, LinkedIn Intervention Manager Training update for behavioral management. Guidance counselors assist in interventions. Ms. Amos talked about our continued effort to expand our use of the multi-tiered system of supports, and we are using our LinkedIn management software to track the students who need assistance and their progress. Literacy curriculum reviews on February PD Day. Benchmark education core reading program, Amplify CKLA reading program, next step to the middle school for evaluation. Ms. Amos highlighted our efforts to provide a recommendation to replace the ELA materials for grades K to 5. Amplify presentation at the middle school, 6 to 8 teachers. Ms. Malloy and her team are also evaluating a new ELA program for the middle school and received a presentation by Amplify CKLA. Proximity learning quote, AP Comp Science, AP Comp Principles. Ms. Malloy described our efforts to secure an online teacher for our computer science classes at the high school and has secured a quote from the Proximity Learning. 6 students are attending the Jersey Shore Science Fair on Saturday, March 14th. Ms. Malloy proudly announced that 6 of our high school students qualified for the Jersey Shore Science Fair at Stockton University. NJ PGA testing at Lacey High School. Ms. Malloy described the upcoming testing for the NJ GPA, which is required exit exam for our high school juniors. This testing will take place the week of the 16th. Out-of-state competition, Penn Relays, University of Pennsylvania. The committee approved an out-of-state trip for the high school track team to attend the Penn Relays. Special education, para hiring freeze, only replacing resignations. May require additional paras for preschool special education due to students turning 3 and entering the program. Mr. Zelinski spoke about the continued search for budget efficiencies and that there will be no hiring of new staff for the remainder of the school year. Reevaluating behavior technician proposal. Ms. Kay presented a proposal to expand our BCBA program, that the creation and training of behavior technicians that would replace contracted services that we currently utilize. Extended school year moved to MPS for the 2026 summer due to roof replacement at CCS. Mr. Zelinski described the upcoming hiring for the extended school year and that the location will be moved to the Mill Pond School due to the upcoming construction at Cedar Creek. The testing of the dynamic learning maps will take place between April and May. This is the testing for our students population that is unable to take the NJSLA exams. Under technology, state testing prep, NJDOE, training in public and question and answer. Final reviews for NJGPA A next week. Mr. Zelinski spoke to the state testing preparations that have taken place or been taking place for our state testing that will affect grades 3 to 9 in the upcoming months. Wrestling regions support the TV21 unbelievable student work. Mr. Zelinski highlighted the work that the TV21 department did to live stream the matches for the tournament. Student and staff device planning for the summer, review plans with district. Mr. Zelinski described the efforts to plan for device replacement in the upcoming school year. Ongoing, and we had trouble with this word in the committee, Azure demo with real-time prior to summer transition. Mr. Zelinski spoke on the efforts to transition our students' information platform to a new updated operating system. Last chance to go before I'm done. Personnel, part-time nurse, CCS, hired start date, 3/20. Mr. Zelinski spoke of the need for a part-time nurse at the Cedar Creek School due to the students with unique medical needs. LDT-C will be board approved in June, start date 7/1. Mr. Zelinski described the efforts to replace the child study team member at the Cedar Creek School. LTEA mediation, 6 p.m. at the High School Media Center, March 31st, 2026. Mr. Zelinski reminded the committee of the upcoming mediation session with the LTEA and the committee. Under other, Mr. Zelinski shared an updated budget calendar with the board committee. The calendar has been adjusted, again, due to snow. The last day for students will be June 24th with middle school promotion on the 22nd and high school graduation on the 23rd. The child study team calendar had been adjusted due to snow. High school graduation has been moved to June 23rd due to snow. There's a new procedure for legal notices. All legal notices will now appear on our website and not be posted in the local paper. Next meeting will be scheduled for April 14th at 4 p.m.
Thank you. And now we'll do finance with Vice President Goen, please.
Thank you. We had three meetings. So first meeting on March 11th, 11 a.m. It was me, President Klaus, Brandon Hurley, Connie Stewart, Will Zelinski, and we started the meeting with a call with our architect, Kevin Settembrino, to go over the referendum and the construction work that's going to take, place this summer, and the schedule for the referendum work. Then we went into, we talked about the Douglas Cordwell Industrial Arts Scholarship and the status of that. We needed to update the contact information for that scholarship, and Connie is working on that. Consolidation of federal grants application. There'll be a motion for the board to submit federal grant applications at the same time and not appear as separate motions. That was something that we discussed, and that might be considered for future board action. Arbiter Sports, we talked about using Arbiter Sports to streamline the payment for outside referees for sports programs. We spent, as you can imagine, a considerable amount of time on the budget, both the revenues and appropriations and the timeline for adoption of tentative and what will be on the agenda. We talked about the RFP for audit services, which is posted and is to be opened on April 1st, 2026. And that's projected for review and approval for the April board meeting. Also, the RFP for the solar field to replace the solar that's on the roofs currently, that has been posted and is projected to be open on April 14th. And again, for action at the April board meeting. We talked about the results of the bond sale, which Mr. Zielinski talked about earlier tonight, and review the payment schedule for the 20-year bond program. Closing of the summer savings account at Ocean First. I believe that's on the agenda tonight to close the existing account, transfer funds to a district managed account. We talked about the cancellation of stale dated checks. That's been an ongoing discussion item for some of the checks that have been issued but have not been cashed. We have on food service, forms were prepared to be sent to the Department of Agriculture to get approval for an RFP. And there was discussion on preparing the forms to be submitted no later than the end of April for food service. That's just to get ready in case we want to issue that RFP. On human resources, we went over the 403B tax shelter, MetLife, and making that available, making active for employees, and also about the revised acting superintendent contract. And transportation, lease purchase for new buses. Obviously, that's budget dependent. So we discussed that, and also the retiring of obsolete equipment. We discussed the superintendent search and the timeline. I talked about the construction with our architect. Use of facilities, which we'll go over in board business. The budget calendar, legal notices, which my colleagues have already talked about. Wrestling room for the change of use to relocate that room, and the 2025-2026 calendar revisions. Then on March 16th, we met again, 2 o'clock. That was myself, President Klaus, Brandon Hurley, Connie Stewart, Bill Zielinski. That meeting, nothing but the budget. We talked about the budget, and that was adjourned at 3 o'clock. On Wednesday, May 18th, we met again, so it was yesterday, 2:30, adjourned at 3:30, and again, discussion of the budget. And we also talked about the transfer of capital reserve of $3 million for a capital project which relates to the roof, the work that's going to go on the high school roof. It's a portion of, it's how we're paying for a portion of the high school partial roof replacement. And we also talked about employee health benefit options and health benefit options for employees, exploring some other options potentially to deal with some of the stuff that we talked about earlier tonight. That, like I said, adjourned at 3:30, and our next meeting is Wednesday, April 1st at 4.
Just if I may, just add a couple, you talked about the lease purchases for new buses for next year. That is not in next year's budget due to the narrowness of the budget. So that didn't happen. And then the $3 million capital reserve project, that is money that was earmarked actually 3 years ago for half of the high school roof. It can only be spent on that. That's the ROD grant, correct.
Right. Okay.
So I know people will say you're spending $3 million, but you have to spend those $3 million that was saved years ago for that.
You can go right into your report. Do you have
My
anything?
report is just make sure that everybody realizes how we move the calendar. This is more to the public as well. We also are forced to move the graduation date. We try not to do that, but with four unfortunate or fortunate snow days, depending on who you are, snow days out there. So just keep in mind that the middle school and the high school, they'll put some pretty heavy-duty announcements out, probably starting tomorrow, Mr. King, or so, to make sure that everybody's aware of the new dates, because the high school graduation date is moved, the rain date's moved, middle school as well. To accommodate that, we're also going to move the June board meeting back to its original date on Thursday. So we'll accommodate all of those things, toot sweet. So that's the big thing. And I really can't say, enough about Killian Coluccio. I mean, to be the state champion for any high school is just a feather in coach's cap, and certainly the organization that they have here at the high school. I'm really proud of them. Thank you.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, now we're going to move on to board member comments. We'll start with Ms. Opitz. Do you have anything you'd like to add?
Sure. Just congratulations to the students, Lily, Amelia, Russell, Danica. Thank you to everyone that spoke tonight, the teachers, the community members. Even though we can't comment about everything, I definitely hear you. And then just a side note, I did request for like a simple thing for transparency for board member term dates to be added to the website. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Dr. Forney, would you like to add anything?
Sure. My mic's on, yes. Just one clarification, because one of the speakers did say that you are negotiating with people who have never worked in public teaching, and I am a teacher. I work in higher ed. I have worked in both the public and the private sector. So I understand some of the things that teachers go through, just at a different level. I had the privilege of taking my children to see Alice in Wonderland at the middle school, so I just wanted to congratulate all the students that took part in that. My girls were very excited to take pictures with all of the young actors and actresses, and I'm taking them to Greece as well. So we love what the school puts together. It's a big part of our community with my 2 little ones. So we appreciate you and all the work that you do.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Hurley, would you like to add anything tonight?
So I thought about shooting from the hip, and then I wrote something down, but I think I'm going to do a hybrid. Mainly, for me, I think, especially with what we're discussing tonight, right, with the budget and the things that are in it, right, I think the nuance behind this is that it's tentative, right, and that, for me, that word sticks out because I've had to ask those questions, mainly because the things that were put into that budget and taken out, right, for me hits hard because as a parent, my son benefits from those paraprofessionals, right? So that for me is a big deal. So I guess for me, it's making sure that as a board, we're asking the right questions. We're asking all the questions. We're flipping all the stones over for this budget for the things that matter. If you heard Steve, he talked about it. We were in the board office. Like, I think they're going to issue me a tag at this point because it was 4 days in a row that I was there. So I think it's important that you understand that it's not what it used to be in that aspect. We are trying to ask the right questions and do all the things we can. So that's the biggest thing. So I appreciate everyone being here, the teachers that were here, the paraprofessionals that were here and spoke. It means a lot. I do appreciate you. I talk to you every day when I drop my son off and when I pick him up, and I do want you to understand that. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Bell.
I would like to say I do appreciate everybody that speaks, and when I say everybody, that includes everybody. One of the things that we carry with us as people is opinions, and our opinion is based on our perspective. I've never been a public school teacher, so I need perspective. And so it helps when you come and give your part. I am a taxpayer in town. I know the pain of that. I've had the joy of 2 times in a row raising my own taxes. It's been wonderful. And so it's a tough thing. We go through the budget, and I appreciate the 4 new members. I feel like they are steps ahead of where I was when I started. I feel like they're steps ahead of where I am now. But just to see their diligence, and I want you to know that we work hard. I know Mr. Zielinski works hard to try and figure out all the details. I went to a funeral this week. A friend of mine that passed away unexpectedly. And in the moments I was there, her son, who I was very close to years ago, said, I know we ended on bad terms. And I was like, what are you talking about? And him and I had some words a couple years ago. We had differing opinions. I did not think we ended on bad terms. His perspective was we ended on bad terms. And I gave him a hug, and I said, listen, you mean more to me as a person than my opinion. And I think if we can keep that in mind here in Lacey, I think we'll do well. We've been through some crazy things in the last couple years. We're looking at another crazy budget. Somebody mentioned that the trust has been broken. I would like to remind you that last year we raised the taxes so that we could keep the teachers. We're going to do all that we can. We'll do some that don't make people happy. I've got differing neighbors. I've got neighbors that love me. I've got neighbors that hate me. Before I got on the board, they all loved me. And so keeping that in mind, that the people are the value, not our opinion. I have an opinion, you have an opinion, we all have an opinion. And there's a saying that goes with that, but because I'm a Baptist pastor, I won't say it. The reality of keeping the people as the value. And we value the teachers, we value the paraprofessionals, we value the children. And I would like to say that I know times are getting tougher. I mean, I've been in the ministry 30 years, and the things I'm dealing with today are much different than they were when I was a youth pastor. Somebody mentioned being a suicide counselor. I've had to deal with more suicide in the last 10 years than I ever did in the first 20. And so we understand the pressures you're under. We understand what you go through. We're doing everything we can to try to keep that moving well. And so, again, I just want to say I appreciate you coming, sharing your opinion, good, bad, indifferent. We need it all so that we can make the proper decision.
Sure. Thank you. And Vice President Goen.
Sure. So I appreciate those comments, Dan. That was really nice. And I just want to say, if I don't know the name of the teacher who spoke up here, the French teacher, but if anybody knows her and sees her in school tomorrow, that was like an all-time speech. Like somebody, please tell her it was like cinematic. I felt like I was watching a movie with her giving that speech. It was unbelievable.
You have no idea.
That was very, very good. And also the woman who spoke, who was sitting up here, and she did the Lorax poem. That was good too, and I could tell, that was very difficult for her. It takes a lot of guts to stand up in a room full of, whatever it is, 150 people. And I know that I've seen her many times when I was dropping my younger son off at Mill Pond over the last couple of years. So it was great to see her to be able to get up and do that in front of everybody. That was nice. Look, it's a difficult job trying to put this budget together. I would personally like to thank, because we spent a lot of time in the board office. In fact, a lot of my colleagues at my office are wondering where I've been the last week, because I haven't really been at my office a lot, but I've spent a lot of time with Will and Connie and the rest of the finance committee in their office, trying to understand. And I know that Will and Connie have spent a lot of time over the last couple of weeks putting this thing together and honestly trying to do what they can. I think we're trying to work with not necessarily a full deck, and that's not necessarily anybody in this room's fault. So we're trying to manage our way through it in the best possible way we can. And I think all of the new board members, I agree, we're trying to learn, but at the same time, we're trying to ask the right questions and make sure that we're doing the right thing for everybody in town. So I appreciate everybody being so invested. Some of those speeches tonight were amazing. Hopefully we can put this together.
Okay, thank you. All right, we're going to move on to new business. I think they all said it. I can repeat what they said, but I've been here for 5 years. Every year it just gets harder and harder. We keep cutting more and more. We're just doing what we can, and I hope you guys understand. We hear you. We listen. We're just put in a spot where choices have to be made, and we do get recommendations from staff, and it's unfortunate, but we do hear what you're saying. So if anybody can please reach out to the governor, write a letter. Let's try to get those 2 bills passed. There's 2 on the table. Not on the table, they're just being introduced. But one would help us with the 6% cap. If that comes off, we would have another $800,000, and that would really help. The other one would be the insurance that Rhiannon talked about tonight. So whatever we could do, insurance, right? We would appreciate that, okay? All right, that's all I have to say. We're going to move on to new business. Okay, you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay, all right, we're going to start with A1 meeting minutes, page 2. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Can I have a second? Discussions? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Opitz?
Yes.
Mr. Hurley?
Yes.
Dr. Forney?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mr. Goen?
Yes.
Ms. Klaus?
Yes. A2, list of bills. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion. Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Opitz?
Yes.
Mr. Hurley?
Yes.
Dr. Forney?
Yes.
I keep saying, sorry, Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mr. Goen?
Yes.
And Ms. Klaus?
Yes. A3 to 4 transfers, and S1701. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Opitz?
Yes.
Mr. Hurley?
Yes.
Dr. Forney?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mr. Goen?
Yes.
Ms. Klaus?
Yes. A5 to 14, facilities and finance.
I'm going to administratively remove 5
Okay.
on page 3.
Okay.
So you're not voting on that.
Can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Opitz?
Yes.
Mr. Hurley?
Yes.
Dr. Forney?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mr. Goen?
Yes, but I will abstain from A14, use of facilities.
Thank you. And Ms. Klaus?
Yes. A15 to 16, tuition and transportation, page 6. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Opitz?
Yes.
Mr. Hurley?
Yes.
Dr. Forney?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mr. Goen?
Yes.
Ms. Klaus?
Yes. Page 6, A17 to 18, other. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Opitz?
Yes.
Mr. Hurley?
Yes.
Dr. Forney?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mr. Goen?
Yes.
Ms. Klaus?
Yes. A19 to 20, policy and regulations. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussions? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Opitz?
Yes.
Mr. Hurley?
Yes.
Dr. Forney?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mr. Goen?
Yes.
Ms. Klaus?
Yes. Page 7, A21 to 22, Hibbs. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Opitz?
Yes.
Mr. Hurley?
Yes.
Dr. Forney?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mr. Goen?
Yes.
Ms. Klaus?
Yes. Page 7, donations. I'd just like to thank everyone who donated. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Opitz?
Yes.
Mr. Hurley?
Yes.
Dr. Forney?
Yes, and thank you.
Mr. Bell?
Yes, and thank you.
Mr. Goen?
Yes.
And Ms. Klaus?
Yes. Page 7, professional days, workshop, and travel. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Opitz?
Yes.
Mr. Hurley?
Yes.
Dr. Forney?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mr. Goen?
Yes.
Ms. Klaus?
Yes. Page 8 to 10, D, certificated personnel, D1 through 8. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Opitz?
Yes.
Mr. Hurley?
Yes.
Dr. Forney?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mr. Goen?
Yes.
Mrs. Klaus?
Yes. Page 10 to 13, E, non-certificated personnel, E1 through E9. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Opitz?
Yes.
Mr. Hurley?
Yes.
Dr. Forney?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mr. Goen?
Yes.
Mrs. Klaus?
Thank you. And I do believe we have a walk-on tonight.
Yes, we do have a walk-on. The walk-on resolution is the adjustment for the health care cost. Be it resolved that the Lacey Township Board of Education includes in the final budget the adjustment for increased cost of health benefits in the amount of $3,318,509. The additional funds will be used to pay for the additional increases in health benefit premiums.
Okay. Can I have a motion, please?
Discussion.
Dis-
Discussion first.
You
You have to always discussion.
Oh, any discussion? Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Can I have a
Second.
second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Opitz?
Yes.
Mr. Hurley?
Yes.
Dr. Forney?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mr. Goen?
Yes.
Mrs. Klaus?
Yes. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.